Hello, Rocky Horror Picture Show fans. We're small but mighty. Man, as I have been going through a deep dive on this movie, I'm learning so many little fun tidbits. And you're probably like me, you've seen it a million times, you know all the songs, but when you really start looking, there's a lot of details to uncover. So, I've been listening to that podcast called the Rocky Horror Minute, and they each podcast is about 30 to 45 minutes long, and they discuss 60-second increments. It's hard to get through sometimes, but I've been fascinated by some of the details they discuss and that they notice in these increments, minute-long increments, and some of it's been incorrect. And I heard the other day they were talking about Frank's gown in the lab. He's wearing a green lab coat gown, and it's got a red triangle on it. And I've heard so many people talk about that red triangle, and they want to attribute it, like these hosts did. They said it's a nod to the Holocaust. How could they couldn't figure out how it linked in, but it was clearly a nod to the Holocaust. And then other people say it was supposed to be a pink triangle, which is a nod to the gay community. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. I had read this from some interview, I think with Patricia Quinn. It's in Tim's book. That lab coat was donated from some medical school, and they had different triangles on the gowns. And so because it looked kind of futuristic, maybe something outer spacey, Sue Blaine, the costume director, decided just to use it as is. There's no big mystery behind it. It just had a red triangle on it. And I'm wondering if all the different gowns from that school, maybe different triangles, different colors, maybe indicated, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, something like that. Anyway, there's no big mystery there. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a red triangle. So let's put that to rest. Okay, when Frank starts his speech, I've always thought he said, my unconventional conventionalists. But he doesn't. He says, my unconventional conventionists. And it doesn't make that big of a difference one way or the other. It's easier to say. But I did check the script, the actual script, and he does say, my unconventional conventionists. So interesting. I'm going to put a link to that script in the description. Let's talk about the tank that Rocky is born in. It is a red tank with rivets all around it. It's see-through. You see a mummy suspended in the middle of it, I guess in liquid, some kind of water. Kind of a throwback to how a baby is born in the womb, surrounded by amniotic fluid. Well, here's the mummy laid out in this prop. Now let's talk about that tank. I didn't know this. That is an actual prop that they used in at least 3 other movies from the 50s. And let's see, that came from The Curse of Frankenstein in 1957. And then it was used in The Revenge of Frankenstein in 1958. And The Mummy in 1959. All of these are by a company called Hammer Studios. And so that prop has been used in Frankenstein movies, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show is sort of a take on the Frankenstein story. You have a doctor wanting to create give life to lifeless material. When Rocky is born and he exits the tank, you see the tank again, and it's got like a rainbow pattern. And I've seen and heard so many people nowadays who weren't even alive in the 70s say that is a nod to the gay community. And it's not. The gay pride flag wasn't even developed until the end of 78 or the beginning of 79. This movie came out in 75. So the gay flag didn't even exist at that time. I think the rainbow colors come supposedly from Frank putting in all the different colors. You know, he's got that the wheel thing there with all the spigots, and he's red, yellow, blue, green. He's putting all those colors in. And then when Rocky exits, the colors are left on the tank. Everybody's trying to make something out of these things, and there's really nothing to be made of it. Now, I did read where it's possible that the gay flag might have been inspired by the tank colors because the movie does have some gay overtones in it, or undertones, I should say, that possibly that idea came from there, but it was not a nod to the gay community. Okay, let's leave all that behind. I want to talk about the tank again, because if you watch closely, maybe you've noticed it before, when Magenta and Columbia, they swing, you know, the cover that's over the tank, that red silky cover, they go 1, 2, 3, and they pull it up. And then the camera angle changes to over the tank looking down. And if you look quickly, you can see the wires over the tank that kept the cloth from sinking into the water. So there are white, clear wires there. You can see them. The camera angle changes, and then the next time it comes back over, all the wires are gone. It's kind of like that house in The Wizard of Oz. If you look real closely, when it's in the tornado, you can see the little stick on the corner where somebody's got a toy house and they're just spinning it. If you watch real quickly, you can see it. That's kind of what we're looking for here. One of the, I made mention in the other video that one of the statues up near where the Transylvanians are has its nails painted red. And if you watch in this scene down below, there's one over on the left of the tank, and his toenails are painted red. Just little tidbits. Frank is, when he's talking to Brad and Janet when they get out of the elevator, he's holding a glass of champagne, and Riff Raff comes up and says, we merely wait your word, and Frank kind of pushes the glass over to Riff Raff, spilling it on him. Now, if you'll watch closely, when they're creating Rocky and Riff Raff is over there at the transducer, and he's, you know, on that wheel thing. If you'll look closely in that scene, you'll see that champagne glasses put on a shelf over there, which is a small detail, but it does show continuity. You know, he has the glass. What did he do with the glass? Well, he set it up there so he could get on with this. Okay, I think that wraps it up for this video. We're going to be talking about Eddie at length in the next one. Y'all come back. See you then.